Hey there fellow simmers and happy new year! This is the second part for my NoCC community hall build that I posted back in December. And we're starting off in the hood view so that I can show you what we have so far. As you can see, we have a 3x5 lot that is in the middle of a 5x9 block, I believe. And so far we have the main building, and I have already started working on the park that will be adjacent to the backyard. So far it's a pretty rough shape for the park, and it's probably gonna change. But that's not what this video is all about. Today we are decorating the main hall, so let's do just that. And we are starting where we left off the last time, so I'm just adding some greenery as well as some sculptures to the backyard. And as you can see, I'm not doing the conventional regular speed build sort of decoration here, because the footage that I had turned out to be a complete mess. It was like 4, maybe 5 hours long, and I'm pretty sure you would puke if you watched it, especially once it was sped up. So that's why I'm doing this sort of a stop motion kind of showcase. And while we do lose the actual process that I was going through while decorating it, I think it's a bit more efficient in terms of showing the end result that we got. Some places, like this corner here for instance, do look a bit weird without the next lot that will be built sometime in the future, but for now just imagine that there's gonna be like a wall next to these trees and everything else. Next comes this small archway that we have, and then the bathroom that we currently have separated into female and male, but I believe it would make more sense to just combine them. Because as you can see, we have a door here that leads to an office building, because I thought it would be cool to have an extra exit, but with the way it is now, only females can enter and exit. Whoopsie. So we are just adding some shrubs and other decorations, and this part at the lot edge is another place where it's currently blank, but once we have the second lot next to it, it's gonna make more sense. So we'll have some mock-up decorations going on here that'll help us blend these two lots better together. And the same of course goes for the other side too, because we're gonna have another building there. And for now, just imagine that there is like a solid wall from another building. With landscaping down on the ground level, we move on to the platforms at the top, and I'm adding some shrubs and flower beds here, as well as some benches and chess tables for the public. With that done, we can now move to the interior, and we start off at the lobby. This is the part where I imagine Sims would come to have an appointment with the mayor or any other worker in the political career. And so they start at the front desk where they can sign up. The mayor is a very busy person, so our visitors will have to wait for some time. And that's why we have this huge lobby with lots of sofas, as well as this little room with some coffee and snacks. Right next to this room we have another corner with some sofas, a little coffee table, as well as some fancy decorations and curtains. And this portion here is the important corner, which is meant to be sort of a memorial to all the previous mayors that have their pictures hanging there. Though for now we have the raccoon family pictures as placeholders. Now we can go one floor below, following this staircase here, and take the path of a regular employee. So if you were just starting off at the political career, this is where you would go. Like kinda the political office for all the political campaign, as well as city planning. Here at the back we have the main office for like a senior manager, and it's closed off with these glass windows and a door. And right next to it we have a small row of office desks. This is probably for someone who is a bit higher up the career ladder. And in the middle of the room we have a huge map of the town that they govern. Then we have a small kitchen with all the necessary utensils for you to take a short break if you want. And right across the room we have another row of desks. So I tried to add some variety with different clutter objects, a bear mascot and some sofas. Now imagine that you are working here at the office and you're like, oh no, it's time to finish the working day. So you leave the office, you come to this door that is leading to the female bathroom. Having done your dirty deeds, you can then exit to the street, and up the stairs you can then go to another portion of offices where imagine city architects would reside. Because of that, we have this drafting table here in the center and some regular office desks to the sides. Right next to it we have another room with some bookshelves that store important plans and archives, a huge map in the middle, and then we move on to the most important room in this whole build, which is the mayor's office, of course. Right by the desk we have some diplomas as well as some other rewards, some decorations, small and big, because this is supposed to be like very fancy and expensive office. Here at the balcony we have some more fancy sculptures, and of course the podium for the mayor to give his speech. A cliche, I know, but a clock at the top. Then we go back inside for the upper portion with the library. as well as an important office for someone who is, as I imagine, would be responsible for like the city archive, which is why we have a separate room right next to it. Another small room to take a break with a recliner, and then we go to the ominous part of this build, which is the room behind the secret door. This is where an interrogation would take place if someone would oppose Mayor in the way he runs the city. So we have a small cell in here too. And if we exit through the same bookshelf and we go back to this door, we end up back in the lobby, though this time it's behind the desk, and we can then exit this main door and end up back in the street to move on to building the public part of the build. We start at the Asian cafe with a couple of vending machines and a table outside, and inside we have this cooking station with a couple of chairs and some Asian decorations. Then we can move on to the central part with the blue door, remember? And if we go inside, we can find a small shop that sells, as I mentioned, some books, or maybe magazines and newspapers too. Though for that, in a normal playthrough, I would need a CC rack. Then at the top, we have a small clothing shop that opens up with this like waiting area with some changing booths. Then a small counter and, well, everything that you would expect to find in a normal clothing shop. Then we go outside once again for the second archway, and it opens up to the last shop that sells souvenirs. The way I recorded this for some reason turned the souvenir stand backwards. Imagine that these face the proper side and not the staircase. Then we have some in the corner too, and on the upper floor we have some flowers, some decorations that face the square, and we have some sort of a small cafeteria where you can purchase some coffee and drink at this table while looking at the governmental square. And with that, believe it or not, we are done. Let's now take a look at the final footage. And that's pretty much it for the City Hall, the central part of the governmental block. I hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next one.